thinking in probabilities. This is where being a trader is different from just about any other business you could choose to do. But it is extremely, extremely important that you do learn to think in probabilities. And I say learn because it's not natural for us to think this way. Okay, it's not how we're raised. It's not how we're taught. We are taught if you do something the right way, you're going to get a good result. Okay, that's how we're raised from childhood. Okay, and if you do something the wrong way, you're going to have a negative or a bad result. While the second holds true for the most part, the first may not when you're talking about a trade-by-trade basis. Okay, because you can do everything right according to your strategy and still take a losing trade. And even though it was a losing trade, it does not mean you did something wrong. Okay, losing is part of trading. All right, but everything is probabilities. There are no sure things in trading. They do not exist. And the sooner you understand this, the better. Okay, because if you think there are sure things and you don't understand this principle, it's going to affect how you trade. It will cause you to be inconsistent with your risk management. All right, when you see something that you believe is a sure thing, okay, you're likely to risk too much, trade too large, and it will also cause you to hang on to your previous trades. And one of the things you cannot do is place a new trade while you're thinking about your last trade. Each trade is individual and has to be approached as an individual trade. Okay, now a lot of traders pay lip service to this idea. Okay, they pay lip service to this idea, but they never really truly start to think in probabilities. All right, so don't think in terms of right and wrong when it comes to trading decisions. The only right and wrong is if you follow or do not follow your trading rules. All right, like we just talked about, just because you have a losing trade, it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. On the flip side of that, and even more dangerous to a trader, is when you have a winning trade where you didn't follow your rules, because that reinforces the fact that you can not follow your rules and have positive results. Okay, at least for one trade. If you continue to not follow your rules, you will eventually blow your account up. One way you can see that traders don't think in probabilities is when they get really mad about getting their stop loss hit. Now, just think about that. You set a stop loss, okay, because you understand that it's a probable outcome when you place the trade. Your stop loss, or just the act of placing a stop loss, you are saying, hey, if I am wrong with this trade, okay, or if this trade goes against me, this is where I'm going to limit my risk. Okay, so just by placing the stop, you're acknowledging the fact that it's a probability and not a sure thing. Okay, and when you truly start to think in probabilities, you will see it in your speech. It will be hard-coded into the way you think and talk. And you can see this with other traders. The fact that I've worked with traders for so long, one of the things I pick up on very quickly is how they speak. Okay, or in most cases, how they're typing in the chat room. Okay, the words that they use. When you go into these public forums, okay, and trust me, you want to stay away from these public forums. They will do you absolutely no good. But when you go into these public forums, you're going to see a lot of the wrong way of thinking. Okay? You'll see it in the text. When people use the words like this has to happen, or this is definitely going to happen, or price is moving here, when you see that type of speech, okay, you know that they're not thinking in probabilities, and they're probably really struggling. You'll hear the word possibly and potentially, and if price does this, and if price does that. When you hear somebody speaking like that all the time and constantly, they're thinking in probabilities, okay, and they are thinking the right way. Very, very important that you get a handle on this, because if you don't understand that everything is a probability and that anything can happen in this market, you're going to have a long, tough road.